Hello there, and as usual, I'm Aaron from My Staying Gamers, and welcome. So today I want to show you around my Lunar Outpost that I'm going to be using for an upcoming scenario. Now, the whole purpose of this place originally was just to build somewhere where people could actually fight over, and then my dark side kind of took over, as you'll soon find out. So we had just a number of different huts with different sorts of interiors. We've got a few different mods on this server, one of my favourite being the actual Outpost 13 dead sort of horror pack. And then since I started sticking these guys dead around the place, it started to make me feel like, how could these guys have died? Is there some sort of monster on this escape? Is it a virus? And that's why I actually expanded the base out into this crater here. And originally these weren't sort of mining rigs, these were actually a UFO that was crashed into this crater, but I decided to change it out and just have them as separate mining rigs. So the idea is maybe they've mined something out and it's caused some sort of virus and infection. I don't know, I'll leave it up to your imagination, but I'll show you around a few different huts. So if we come to this far end of the base, this was the last little addition I did before I got a little bit of a performance drop, and this is the antenna sort of radar communication bay. That looks like it's really out of order. We've got fences that have collapsed down, we've got the danger high voltage all cut into the side. Just try to make it as abandoned and maybe leave it like a few years after people have actually been here. But saying that, space pursuits would preserve the characters pretty well within the side. You can see one's dead here, propped up against this fallen antenna, and I was just running it through my mind, like if that antenna would have fallen over, it would have pushed the fence over, and I was just creating these little immersive features. You can see we've got the solar panels that actually keep the base and the lights on down in the mining area, even though people have long left this area. So in the little maintenance hangar, we've not got too much, just a body. Maybe he was trying to make a last-ditch effort to repair something or get communications back online, but he just didn't make it. So let's have a look at the garage over here. Now, in every creepy horror sense, just have a look at this. You've got that blinking light, you've got the dead guy under the light, and with a bit of ominous music, you could imagine this being a really, really creepy place. And up here we've also got another dead body and a few tools, just like it's a garage, it was a workshop, maybe working on a rover or different things around the outpost. Now, something to give the outpost a little bit of more detail, I've actually added these dead tech boxes scattered around the area, and I think this is just a great little thing to do. I do this on a lot of my outposts just to create a little bit of a lived-in feel. You can imagine them piling up crates of different supplies and things, and they're not going to want to store them necessarily inside, and since the atmosphere and the temperature is pretty good outside, you can actually see that these crates are stored there. We've got another body leaning up against that corpse, not knowing how he's been killed or what has killed him. So we'll actually have a dip into a few of these huts. So each one of them is a little bit different. We've got two bodies outside the front of this one, and we'll pop our legs in to game, and then we'll just have a quick look in HO4. That means habitat number 4. So let's have a look in this area. So this is just the standard sort of habitat. We've got a number of different bunk beds. We've got a dead guy who's grinded himself to death or been trying to fight something off there in the corner. We've got a little bit of access to the upper area if someone wants to do that. And we've also got a dead guy, from what I believe, on top of a shelf there. I had a little bit of detailing with the pipes, and also used an interior mod to just give it a little bit of a different feel rather than a very standard sort of interior feel that most of the buildings have in Space Engineers. So we'll close that airlock up behind us, and we'll go and have a look in Habitat 3. Now, Habitat 3, if I remember correctly, is a sort of detainment cell. So we'll hop in here, and the whole idea of this place was to detain maybe the creature. I watched the thing a little bit a while ago when everything started mutating, and then I've watched the Pingu version of it that's just as gory. And you can see inside here we've just got a number of different corpses. Maybe it's taken these people in there, or maybe they were trying to hide out from whatever it was out there. Just another cool little room. We've got a camera up there that we can access and view from outside as well. Let's pop back out, and we'll move on to the next habitat. That is Habitat 2. Now, I'm not too sure what is in Habitat 2. I believe it's the armory. Let's just check this out. Yeah, so the armory is in here, as I remember. We've got the shutters that I actually access here. So there we go, we can put the shutters down in case of emergency situation. In the scenario, the weapons and ammunition are going to be in there, but you're going to have to get a certain access code to actually access the weapons and ammunition. So that should be a little bit more interesting for the players to actually go on their endeavour. So let's close up that door behind us. We've had a look at the garage already. Now, in Habitat 1, it's an empty habitat because I was going to be using this one as the stock one to actually repeat and move around to different locations, so I could fill it with different things. So you can see there's no power in Habitat 1 at the moment. So entering into this area, we actually enter to the lifting procedure. I really wanted some sort of cargo lift where you could transport vehicles and supplies back up to this level. You can see some guy there has got a grinder stuck into the side of his helmet. And if we actually activate that, we should start retracting the small piston lift up to the correct level. and then once it's done we can actually lower ourselves into the mine. Now, since this mine's not been running for a few years now, some of these buildings inside, their interior is going to be completely wrecked. I think I need to add a little bit more damage to areas as well. So there we go, there's the lift up. We could transport a vehicle or some supplies and crates from the mine below, and we'll lower ourselves down on that. Beautiful. And we'll switch back to spectator and continue on our tour. So there we go, we're slightly bobbing up and down due to the moon's gravity being a little bit off. We'll have a look at the center area. So the center area is just a lot of detailing, really, not super functional. We've actually got a number of different centrifuges actually here, and then we've got the pipes that have piped up and added a little bit of ribbon, bit of excitement, as well as some crates that have been stuck on top there as well, and these have just been repeated and placed around. Now in the scenario there will be a way down into the mine, and there'll be a number of mining tunnels and a few different scenarios going on there, but I'm not going to spoil too much of that. We've also got these massive sort of football field lights that illuminate the sort of mine area. I think really cool. It just gives that little bit of a orangey sort of glow. But we'll have a quick dip in each one of these habitats. Now these are all repeats of habitat 4 up above. So if we just dip inside here, we can actually see that this one, someone's been buried alive in that case. And if I just place my character in this area for the moment and press 6, you can see we've got a little bit of a railing that runs through different sorts of areas. I just imagine that if you ran out of this area, you won't want to go and run out and run straight over the edge. So let's open up habitat 4 if we can. So habitat 4, we've got another buried alive sort of situation, a bit of a bunk bed there on show. Just the whole idea of each one of these has collapsed over time. Got the lift there on the left, and we've just got these boxes spaced out everywhere to create that sort of immersion that we're looking for. More little bit of a walkway area, sort of catwalk. And it was quite difficult to actually get these into place. What I had to continuously do is actually copy paste them and then paste them back into the ground. I'll just quickly demo it actually what I did. So I grabbed it like so, and then I pressed B, and I had to place each one individually through the ground so it'd actually angle itself and be in the correct position, but still it ended up looking pretty well. So we'll go to habitat 1. Have we been in here just yet? No, I don't think we have. I think habitat 1's the empty one. Yeah, that's why I avoided it. So habitat 4 is another version of the sleeping area that has been collapsed. So you can see, we can see a little bit more of this area, but still collapsed in. Maybe I need to add a body in here or something. I don't think there's enough bodies in that particular one. And then habitat 4 is another collapsed habitat once again. So all the ones in the mining area will have various different things that the players will have to do to work out and solve the puzzle that I have not really set in my mind just yet. If you've got any ideas for a scenario of this sort of place, or the horror sort of scenario, then I'd love to hear it. But apart from that, that is the little bit of a moon outpost horror scenario that I've been working on. I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you